no, we have too many women to send. We have too many women that are too good to send to these. And it's not like well, I hope we medal at the World Championships. No, we're going to medal at the World Championships.
Joining us now, she's an Olympic gold medalist and Team USA weightlifter. At the 2024 Paris Games, she became the first American weightlifter to win Olympic gold in 24 years and the youngest American Olympic gold medalist in weightlifting in 68 years. Oh, and she also set an Olympic record along the way. She also won the World Weightlifting Championships later that year, becoming the first U.S. lifter in 66 years to hold both the world title and an Olympic gold in the same year. And then she repeated as World Weightlifting Champ in 2025 as well. She'll try to make it a three-peat this fall. A Chattanooga, Tennessee native, she got her degree in sociology and is now a graduate student in the UT Chattanooga Master of Public Health program, studying chronic disease prevention and control. She's a pity mom to Miss Amber, and she's ice skated at Rockefeller Center and fed gushers to a raccoon. It's Olivia Reeves. Hi, Olivia.
My goodness, you did your research. Wow.
Mostly jealous of the raccoon that got the gushers. What country were you in for that? That looked like you were in a foreign country.
I was in Panama. They were pretty scary looking, very skinny for raccoons. The
and not fuzzy.
Skinniest I've seen.
They weren't
not
furry.
Fuzzy. That might have been mange. I'm not really sure. What raccoons are getting into. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I'm a huge raccoon fan, and I would like to make one a pet, even though all best judgment advises me against that. So very jealous of that. I want to get back to when you were a kid and go all the way back to when you first started lifting. So what got you into it?
My parents owned a CrossFit gym, and from 2012 to 2019, and I started Olympic weightlifting specifically in 2015. My coach, who is still my coach, would come in and do like USAW level ones, do seminars for CrossFitters who wanted to do strength training. And through that, as long as I had all my homework done and I packed an extra snack, my mom was like, okay, you can participate. And then she was like, actually, you could do this. You could train at Steve's gym and just make this your sport if you didn't want to do CrossFit, or kind of, just to add something else if you wanted to. So then as of the summer of 2016, after I went to my first USA Weightlifting Nationals and a training camp at the OTC, I decided that this was my sport. Not that I found that I was super good at it yet, but just this is something I wanted to do and that I enjoyed.
Those years sound very recent, but it's just that you're very young. You're only 23. So they're not that recent in the timeline of your life. You actually were in 4th grade when you started lifting at your parents' gym. Did you play other sports? Did you like other sports?
I did my fair share of soccer, track, cross country, basketball, ballet, horseback riding. Like I tried quite a bit. I realized later, because I was still friends with people from elementary school, that I thought I was okay at the sport or at basketball, but then I realized that they were just trying to give everybody a chance with the ball. Actually, it's not that was anything to speak of with my knee-high socks, but I enjoyed it and I found team sports fun. And my parents definitely wished I did more team sports, like at that age. The deal kind of was you're in school and you have to have an extracurricular, whether that's, band or theater or a sport. You had to have something else to learn to balance. And it just so happened for me and my sisters to be sports.
So I have a lot of friends that do CrossFit, and I feel like the range of gyms can go from people who really know what they're doing, which I imagine would be the case where your parents' gym had actual coaches and trainers that are experts in weightlifting. And then there are the ones where they don't tell people like, hey, your knees shouldn't be past your toes when you're squatting and things like that. So it's awesome and validating for the CrossFit world that you got your start in one of those gyms. How did your coach start coaching there? And was the intent to do that as a side hustle with a focus on real competitive weightlifting? Or did you sort of help inspire him to move over into that side?
He's been a coach longer than I've been alive. He knows more about weightlifting. He could forget more than I know about weightlifting. Like Steve Fowler, I want to say he's had his own gym at least 2000. I would say 1990s something, but I'm not sure exactly. But it's been a long time. He's been in the Chattanooga area and had his own gym. and been coaching at the college, high school, D1 level. Like that's kind of been his deal. He was only coming in to supplement and do every once in a while something for the CrossFit crowd.
That makes sense.
And that kind of, it was like, it's very lucky that I found him and that our coach and athlete relationship has gone through now going on 11 years.
Wow.
In Chattanooga, Tennessee for the sport of Olympic weightlifting. It's
right.
Like a lot of things had to go right for
Yeah.
a long time for that to work out.
Well, and I also wonder, did you at some point realize you had something special and you should seriously pursue this? Or do you think that Steve's ability to see that in you was a big deciding factor there?
People do ask him that, like when Olivia walked in the gym, did you just know? And he's like, no, I had no clue, first of all. Second of all, he asked, he goes, do you want any help or do you want like pointers? And I go, no, I think I'm good. And he was like, all right, then. So,
oh my gosh.
Because at the time I didn't understand like this. I knew how to snatch and I knew how to clean and jerk. And I was like, boom, I've got it. I don't need any help. I could do it. Like ground to overhead, like a very CrossFitter mentality. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get it done. And it took a lot of years before I realized, okay, I'm not in CrossFit anymore. This is Olympic weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
In order to be good at this, you kind of have to be a perfectionist and, have help and be a coachable athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And that took a long time for me to realize. And I mean, he's happy to have people in the gym, regardless of your ability level. And he's happy to take the time to coach and work with you. It just happened that I enjoyed it and I wanted to compete. And he's like, awesome. Okay.
And you were very, very good at it. I will say, as a precocious young person myself, I think also kids tend not to really understand or grasp how successful adults are or what it means when a successful adult wants to invest time in you because you don't know any different. You're like, oh, that's cool. And then later in your life, like, holy shit, this guy's like really great at this and spending some time with me to help me be great too. So I think a lot of us that have sports backgrounds know, AAU basketball or travel soccer or Junior Olympics for track. There's a lot of outlets to kind of pursue an interest in the sport when you find that you're at a specific level outside of just your regular school competitions. What are the opportunities as a young person for competitive weightlifting? Where do you go if you realize you want to start the track towards something like an Olympics?
That's what makes it a little tough about Olympic weightlifting is people automatically first right off the bat don't quite understand the difference between powerlifting, bodybuilding, and weightlifting. And they think it's all kind of the same thing. So a good part of that is just education. And if you're in kind of the school age, then your source is your strength coach. And they might not even know the Olympic lifts and they might still be having absolutely everybody do a power clean. There are no squats to full depth. There's no full range of motion. So a lot of that starts with just, you have to find somebody that is in a way knows anything about the Olympic lifts, which are the snatch and the clean and jerk. Powerlifting is the squat, bench, and deadlift, and bodybuilding is a physique competition. Not the same.
Okay, so for the two Olympic lifts, pardon my ignorance, but they're separate events. The snatch and the clean.
It's all one competition. So the competition, you weigh in, you have 2 hours, competition starts, you do the snatch, you do the clean and jerk, competition ends. That weight class.
And ends. They both count.
Yes, you add them together and that's your total. So you can technically have like a world championship, you walk away with 3 gold medals, a snatch, a clean and jerk, and a total in a way.
Okay. And can you win any of those medals individually or they all go together?
Individually, yes.
Okay. So you can win the snatch, but not the others. You can also win the clean and jerk, but not the others, or you can win. Okay.
Yeah. There's a combination of the 3. The only exception is a games event. So it gets a games event. There are no individual lift medals. It's only total.
Okay.
So at the Olympics, I walked away with 1 gold medal versus a world championship, walked away with 3.
Okay.
It's a thing for a games event.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure who made the rule. I wish it was 3. Could have been, but
So what was your first big win where it was like, okay, I'm on track. I need to start looking to compete against the most elite people in the world?
Probably my 2021 Junior World Championship. That was my first big international in terms of I have to fly with the team, getting to have an international competition experience. And I had really no expectation for myself. I hadn't competed in a while because that was coming out of COVID. And it was just kind of like, I'm here to compete. This is super cool. I don't know what I can do. And then I ended up winning and I was like, wow, okay. Not everybody's doing this. All right, then. So it was after that and then a couple more because Olympic qualifying for 2024 started end of 2022. So it was kind of within that year, I was like competing a lot more, qualifying and making senior teams as a junior athlete, where I started prioritizing lifting a little bit more in my life. I had graduated high school in 2021 and originally went to the University of Alabama at Birmingham to pursue an undergraduate degree in public health. And I spent a year there. And in that time, I had about 4 competitions. And I was training remotely. So my coach was programming me, but he's not in person. And I was kind of training by myself. And it was just not the best environment for me to set myself up to a 2024 potential Olympic hopeful. So those years are kind of when I started to realize how far this could take me, how good I could get, and also just the natural progression of being an athlete and not just it being a hobby, but a sport that I enjoy. And this could be a career for a couple years.
How did your friends in high school react to you pursuing weightlifting seriously?
They thought it was cool. Everybody for one of my junior worlds, they had a send off. Everybody made posters and stuff. I've always been super supportive and love the sport of weightlifting and love that people are interested. Not to say that got any of them into the gym to try it with me. Not at all. Still, I don't think I have, but there's a lot of respect for what I'm doing in my sport and balancing it all.
I feel like whenever I want to get my friends to do stuff that they're not super jazzed about, I just turn it into a birthday party and then they're forced to on behalf of celebrating me. So I think your next birthday party needs to just be in the gym where everybody has to learn how to do like
that
a
is
clean
the
and
most
jerk.
Olivia Reeves thing I've heard in a long time.
Perfect.
Having a weightlifting, I haven't done that yet. A weightlifting themed birthday.
You could just do Olympic themed where there could be a couple other events, but the real point is to get everyone to have to do like a clean and jerk. So take us through a lift. I want to know, are you repeating cues right before relating to your arms, your knees, your breath? Are you relying on just muscle memory and clearing your brain right before? Like, what are you thinking as you're about to make an attempt?
I tell myself a couple things. If I'm like leading up to competition, say it's a competition lift, I do a lot of visualization to see like the weight on the bar, the seconds on the clock, things like that to make it feel like I've already made the lift. I already know the outcome. I just have to go through the process. And the process is doing a snatch. I've done 10,000 of snatches and clean and jerks and lifts throughout my going on 11 years of training. So I already have the outcome that I want. I know the process to get there. So a lot of it is just, I make lifts. That's what I do. That's just kind of what I do. I make lifts and kind of say that repeatedly as I've already done it. I have done it. I did it in the warm-ups, leading up to it. The only thing that's changed is the weight on the bar.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's a lot of positive mental attitude. Just, I'm already there. It just hasn't happened yet. I should have said this before, but the snatch is from the ground to the air in one movement, and the clean and jerk is from the ground to your shoulders, and then the jerk part is the press above your shoulders. So for people who don't know the difference between those two, they're similar but distinct. So take us to Paris. You win. You set a record. You put the U.S. back on top for the first time in decades. What were the emotions?
It was a lot. It happened so fast. We were in the Olympic Village for like 3-4 weeks, almost a month before we competed.
Wow. Why so long?
To acclimate and because we could be in the Olympic Village that long. And we were like, all right, we'll do it. Hindsight, I don't think I would stay. The 5 of us, me, Mary, Jordan, Hampton, Wes.
Okay.
6 of us? 5, 6, yeah. We were the 2024 Olympians for weightlifting, for USA weightlifting. So we were able to stay and watch other sports compete. And so that was really exciting, but it was just like, okay, when's it my turn? Okay, like, can I go now? Please, can it be my turn? To just like, let's do it. And so weightlifting was the last 3 or 4 days. Mary, our super heavyweight, went on the last day of closing ceremonies.
Wow.
So it was very much go to Paris, you're there. Training was not going amazing for me, but then you compete and then it's like, boom, go home, it's done. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's more fun to compete first and then get to hang out in the village after and enjoy everybody else without the stress. So we hear a lot about the sort of Olympic letdown, even if you win, just the idea of like you've built it up so much and now it's over. Even though you came home with gold, there was, like you just said, this quick turnaround from excitement, build up, up, go home. So what did it feel like? Did you have a letdown?
I think so. I took 2 weeks off from training, didn't go in the gym. I had a lot after that, being from Chattanooga, coming back to Chattanooga, having been involved so heavily in this city. There was a lot of media or just local things. They did a parade.
Yeah.
I have a key to the city.
Cool.
They did fun stuff like that. That made it fun to be home and out and about. There was a bit of a letdown in training, but I had the World Championships in December that year, and we got home mid-August, and I started my last semester of my undergraduate. So I did have quite a bit going on to be like, there's no time to really dwell on, like, the Olympics happened. That was awesome. I have so much to be grateful for from that, and I love that experience, but I got to get through the year first. There are a couple more things I got to do before we can take a breath just yet.
Did you feel like your life has changed a lot since winning gold?
Not really. More people just know about it. And if they'll look at me and they'll go, do I know you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know you.
Yeah. I would be like, probably from my gold Olympic medal. I'd be like, I'm not going to give you a second to say kindergarten. I'm just going to offer up gold medal and see if that's it.
And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah. And it's like, so a lot of people, like my high school had a billboard up for a minute. Cool. Like they did, UTC did a lot. So it does happen still on occasion. People are like, wait a minute.
Right. A little bit. It's not the same as like Alyssa Liu. There are certain events and certain sports where it becomes a global sensation versus weightlifting, which still needs to get a little bit more love, which could happen in LA 28. There's a real opportunity for that. So I know you set a new American record this March, right?
Yes.
Unofficial world record?
Mm-hmm.
Why was it unofficial?
It has to be an international competition for a world record, Pan American record, something like that.
Is that just to make sure that everything's buttoned up?
Yeah.
I'm not going to make you agree with this, but you just don't want anything set in like Russia, for instance, that then counts. You don't have to say anything. It has to be
an IW, International Weightlifting Federation competition for it to be a world or Pan American record for us. By no means am I complaining about it. I understand the rules.
Yeah, makes sense. So what are your goals in upcoming competitions or big tentpole events, or what are the things you're kind of tracking as we get closer to LA 28?
So qualification starts this November. In China, we have our first qualifier, which is the 2026 Senior World Championships. This is, in and of itself, it's a World Championships is already a pretty big deal, but because it's an Olympic qualifier and the first one, it does kind of, you get your foot in the door, sets the tone, if you will, for many people, but you need 5 qualifiers before they name the Olympic team. So, and that takes you up until March of 2028. They won't name the team until like a couple months before. So I actually, all I know is I have to do 5. I don't even know which 5 exactly. That will be planned based on my performance at whichever ones and the timing of it all. I don't think they even have all 5 spaced
mapped out. But you'll dates. Start with Worlds this fall, October, November. Mm-hmm. When you say name the team, does that mean it's a subjective choice where they're selecting members based on performance, or do you have to hit marks and then it's based on those marks?
So for weightlifting, it's probably the least subjective sport we've got, because it's either you make the total or you don't. You're ranked so high or you're not.
Okay.
So in terms of performance-based, performances that you have done internationally. And so to make the team, weightlifting, I believe, has 6 weight classes, men and women, and a full team is three women and 3 men. That's the max you can send for weightlifting. You can't have 2 athletes in the same weight class. And in order to qualify to go to the Olympics, you have to be in the top 8 of the world.
Wow. Okay. So you got to get all those things, and only one spot per country for a weight class is really tough. Jeez. Wow. I saw this stat about US weightlifting. So this came out after the Paris Games. 16 gold, 17 silver, 8 bronze medals at the Olympics for US weightlifters. That's a total of 44. So that's third all time, behind only the Soviet Union and China, who are tied at 62, which is good. But only 10 of those 44 US medals have come since 1968. So there was this golden era, and it hasn't been the same since. But you're part of this potential resurgence for US weightlifting, a lot of hope around you and the team. So how you do in LA could have a really big impact on young girls deciding to try the sport. What does that honor and I guess that responsibility and maybe a little bit pressure mean to you?
It means so much to be on the other side of it, basically growing up in this sport and in CrossFit and weightlifting, and looking up and being able to see other athletes get to the Olympics and achieve these things. And now I'm here being able to do that and set an example, and not just lead by example, but inspire other athletes. And now it's not like we're barely sending women's teams. No, we have too many women to send. We have too many women that are too good to send to these. And it's not like well, I hope we medal at the World Championships. No, we're going to medal at the World Championships. And being able to change that part of the conversation has been amazing to be a part of.
Yeah. What would you say to parents who might want to get their girls in weightlifting, or even maybe if there's teens or young women themselves that are listening?
Find a gym and start doing it. The earlier you can. There are so many benefits to weightlifting. Not only, like, this doesn't have to be your sport or the thing that you do. That's completely fine. This is such a great supplemental way to move, to build any sort of speed and strength. If you want to be a basketball player, if you want to be a volleyball player, a soccer, like, there's so many benefits to strength training, not just specifically Olympic weightlifting, that only help you. And starting at a younger age and building that body awareness and that movement pattern can help you get ahead of other kids who aren't doing that. Not to say you need to maximize absolutely everything and be the best. Like, no. But there are many upsides to strength training, especially for women. I remember being in high school and wanting to take the wellness class, was the strength and conditioning class. And, the guys would go and max out their power clean and squat and whatever. And the girls would walk around the gym for an hour. And I had already been weightlifting, and I was like, this is going to be awesome. I can lift here, while in school and do whatever. But then I was like, this actually stinks.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not going to teach us how to lift? Hand us a barbell. You mean to tell me you don't have any women's bars in here? Oh my God. So it's things like that. It's the little things that are
Title IX violation, Olivia.
Do you like my high school? I'm not accusing anybody.
We can our high school. We could still call them out.
But I agree. It's little things like that where it's not exactly discouragement from you're just not encouraged, or there's no information about it or how to do it.
What I would say is, even though, of course, it's great for young people who want to do other sports or just want to get involved, as someone who was an athlete myself, it's been so useful for me to have learned how to do things correctly with the support of coaches and trainers, so that now in my everyday life, I can go to the gym and know the proper form for all the different things I'm doing without needing to have supervision for it. And especially for older women, where they get told yet again, strength training is what you need during perimenopause and all the other things as your bones change, to already know what I'm doing instead of having to teach myself is really beneficial. So I think you're right. It's not just about beating people's asses, although that is my favorite part of doing things. There are other side benefits as well. Okay, I have one last question for you, because like I said earlier, you're only 23. You've accomplished so much already. You have a long career yet to go, but also you're thinking about life outside of the sport. And I mentioned your master's program. What are you hoping to do with that degree? Because I've seen some quotes around addressing barriers within different sports to make them more accessible, understanding, people's lifestyles and how communities function in terms of health. There's so many interesting ways to take what you're learning.
Yes, that is one of my favorites I knew I wanted to go into a health aspect. That's been a huge part of my life, my parents owning a gym and me being an athlete. Without it explicitly being healthcare or medical related, I really did not see myself being a doctor or working in a hospital in that setting or that capacity. So finding public health, which was originally my major at UAB and University of Alabama, Birmingham, but then coming back to UTC and finding sociology and being able to learn about social determinants of health and ways that you can impact a community and less at the individual level. Because that's what you're focusing on in medicine is the individual in front of you, diagnosing, curing, treatment. But there's no preventative approach really to medicine. And that's what I found through public health, specifically chronic disease and prevention, is creating pathways that prevent people from ending up at a hospital. That's lifestyle changes, that's community implementation, and less like me as an individual eating healthy. It's how can I set myself up from things in my community to make sure I am healthy, but also contributing in a way.
Cool. That sounds so fascinating.
I love it. I love it and could not say enough good things. But how I fit that into weightlifting is kind of what I'm trying to figure out. I do plan on 2028 and I'll graduate from the program in 2028. And that will kind of determine, do I keep going? Because if I keep going, I might as well go for another 4. And that's 20. Well. That takes me to 2032. And if I'm going for another 4 and I'm still a professional athlete in this capacity, do I get a job? Do I get a real job in public health? Where does that take me in terms of location? So, adult things.
You don't have to figure it out just
decisions.
Yet. You don't have to figure it out.
Of course.
Yeah, just one step in front of the other.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I really think I have found something that's broad enough, but the topic that I want in terms of moving forward in a professional sense.
Well, you're ahead of a lot of other people. And if it doesn't work out, you and I both have the same 10-year plan, which is get rich and famous and live on a farm. So we can always just find some empty space together and go hang out with our donkeys and dogs and horses.
I would love absolutely nothing more.
We'll see you there.